Got this going. Hey everyone, this is my daily live stream. I'm going to be doing this a lot in the coming days. So, let me just make sure that I got everything all set up correctly. Looks like my microphone's working. Um, Typo in the title. It's kind of embarrassing. Alright. Alright, that's cool. So I essentially have, well, last night after I turned off the last stream, I ended up getting, um, a bunch more work done. And then when I woke up this morning, I started working on it as well. So, oh God, being able to see myself from the past is like distracting. Um, so one of the things I got in place is super important is the escape menu. Like the action. So like new game options. Like this is like the main menu for the game. Um, I just haven't had this in place, but now I have the ability to like people can just hit escape, bring that menu up at any time, and just quit the game without having to like type something in the console. It was just like one of those little things, not a very little thing, but an important thing. um, Definitely necessary. Then there was this other bug that I found. I haven't fixed. I don't know if it exists or not, but like I repaired a pair of worn legs, and I got a helmet instead. No, I got boots instead. So I'm gonna try this. Okay, repair. Okay, worn leg armor. Repair. Ah, just regular leg armor now. Alright, I don't know. What the hell? Maybe I was just imagining it. Let's try this. Repair. Oh, it's got body armor. This is really good for my character. Worn armor tends to have really low stats compared to the final version. One of the other things I finally got in place was the Hermes boots. Oh, oops, this door doesn't open until you do this. You can't go further into the game until you channel the first home point. But once you get into here, if you do this area, you manage to get up here like a lot of players are probably going to try to do. The Hermes boots blueprint is now there. And Hermes boots have pretty damn good stats, and they start off at level 3. They kind of require a an item in the recipe that's a little bit hard to get though, but they're like a best in slot, easily a best in slot item if you can manage to keep them up to your current level. But it requires Sprinter's Gem, which means that um, you gotta dismantle either a potion, a Sprinter's potion, or you gotta dismantle a pair of Sprinter's boots in order to get one of those gems. So it's not terribly easy to get that. Um, that's green level 6 body armor. It's pretty high quality. Look at that, 520. 520%. That's well, 52% armor of what is the appropriate. It's mind-numbing to try to explain the generic visual values, but you're seeing the percentage of the generic visual value there. And another feature that I added because I felt that the health boosters and the armor repair thingies are kind of useless. So you'll notice that there's a number down here on these right here. So this is like your armor and this, but like if I have an armor repair kit, you'll actually see this number go up 1, and I can have like 10 armor repair kits, and I can have 10 mega health boosters, right? Um, there's a I bound keys, so like I can pop those health boosters anytime I want, and so like I just popped that one. Now the number's 0, and I consumed that one. I don't mind too much that you have to kind of use the potions. I guess I'm not calling them potions, they're concoctions, but um, those last for like 3 minutes, so you pop it before you're in the fight, and you know for 3 minutes you'll have some like nice uh, stat boost for like a tough area that you're about to do. Um, but the health and the armor thingies, you just use those. So they're so Z and C give you quick access to mega health and mega armor boosters, and they're consumables, so you can only use them once. So with that, there's one last feature that I want to get in place, and that is a checkbox in the top corner of either drop or dismantle, so that you can just turn it on and just leave it that way, and just like, because one thing that's kind of a drag with the game right now is just like a quality of life thing that I want to kind of nip this in the bud before people have a chance to experience like wanting to complain about it, is making sure that you can like turn this mode on, and then I just double click everything that I want to dismantle and it'll just do it. And I think that's basically it. And once I have that in place, I will once I have that in place, I'm going to be able to package this up and actually upload it. So I guess the first thing I need to do for that is I'm just gonna have to look at the HUD and how that's hooked up when you're about to use something, and then make sure that I toggle a couple of booleans, and if the boolean is true, then I'll have to figure out like how I want to do that. So I'm thinking about that right now. Another thing that I did last night after the stream was over was I made sure that there's blocking volume so that the player can't get to weird places in this level, which is, so there's like a blocking volume up here and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan yet of the idea that like the interior spaces have different post-processing, but I guess it's kind of necessary. But it's so obvious when you go from interior to exterior that like the lighting changes. Ah, I guess that's just one of those things that like I'll notice, but a lot of people won't care. I optimized this area a little bit more because those lights were actually causing performance. Even while I was playing the game legitimately, like an actual build of the game, and I was noticing performance drop, which is not that's not a good sign. I'm a little worried about performance with the game in general, like on lower end systems, because I got a pretty decent machine right now. So uh, there's that, and let's see what else do I got going on here. All right, so I think I can get started right now on the menu on the HUD. So I have to go into its inventory. You see how there's like thingies here. All right. I need to add a couple of checkboxes. Now I don't remember. I've never really worked with the checkboxes before. I think I have once or twice. So like, I think yeah, like you drag a checkbox in, right? Why is it so big? Like why is it? Why does it have? Why isn't it centered? Why would I? Why would I ever want a checkbox that's not centered? Um, 25. I think it's going to be fine if the checkbox has to be visible though. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. Like maybe I'll have to I don't know. Um, let's see. Unchecked by default. Now, I guess all of this is going to happen within this widget, because this is just the inventory setup, and the dismantle thing doesn't affect anything else. Like, um, not to say that this widget's not complicated. It's just, uh, let's see, it's got a lot of stuff that goes on in it, but most of it is just like figuring out like what mode you're in and stuff like that. And I might have to have a couple of booleans to check against when you double click something. So I'm I'm gonna end up having to go through my own code to try and like remember what the hell I did. Alright, so there's a dismantle. Alright, that's a dismantle mode. Alright, I'm gonna set these to booleans. So mode. You know, maybe it should probably be something other than booleans, because I'm gonna have to set priority. Like if you set both of these checkboxes to true. Oh no, I'll just reset the checkboxes every time you click one. I'll reset the others. So you can only have one up at a time. So that should be all right. Mode dismantle, and then mode drop. Right. Now the question is though, so I got this checkbox, mode dismantle. Oh, hey Antonio, which Doom mod are you talking about? Are you talking about the Redemption of the Slain? Ah, thanks, man. How's it going with you? Let's see. Is this checkbox within something? Okay, yeah. I have to have two checkboxes, make sure that they're functioning correctly, and then I'll have to like figure out how to make them more visible. So another checkbox, and this one will be, oops, I put it all the way up there. 25, 25. Could probably make it smaller. Yeah, I have a new game right now. It's pretty interesting. I've figured out a combination of things where I'm able to actually pull off just making my own single player first person shooter that's very much in the line of like my Doom levels and stuff like that, but it's basically Doom and Quake meets Dark Souls. That's the premise, or the core gameplay loop. So like it's pretty hardcore, and when you die, you just immediately start back at the home point, and then everything resets. And every time you use a home point, it's like using a bonfire. So if you're familiar with Dark Souls, this is Quake and Doom meets Dark Souls, and that's what Project Stray is. Hey, what's up, Alley Cat? Wow. I am following your advice. It's an interesting experience, actually. Streaming. I like streaming on YouTube. I think one of the things that turned me off from streaming on Twitch is that like it was just so much effort to like get everything working. Like, but YouTube is dirt simple. I plan to have a demo out today, but the demo is gonna be like no sound and no effects, and the monsters are gonna look like bounding boxes. Next, by the end of the week, though, I want to have sound and at least icons, like something that represents the monsters. Like they'll be walking around with their arms perfectly still, but you'll get an idea of what they look like. Um, and and the guns will have like a muzzle flash and sound and stuff. The goal right now is to get this in good enough shape where I can show it off to apply for a grant with Epic. I don't know if that's gonna be a thing, but I'm gonna try. I'm trying it. Mode drop. I'll be posting the download link on my Steemit page. So like kind of like what I did with Redemption of the Slain. It'll be like the same thing. I'll have like a post like that, and then I'll link to it and everywhere and like promote it. Maybe even go to Reddit. I'll wait until the end of the week before I start going to Reddit and stuff like that though. Yeah, I like having immediate feedback. Last night there was all kinds of stuff coming in. Killpixel was helping a lot, like giving advice. I was getting all kinds of feedback. It was actually pretty interesting. Uh, the URL is my Steemit page, so like my Steemit blog. You could also ask them to follow you in a feature article on one of their videos, like an interview. Oh yeah, that would be awesome. So let's see. All right, so the checkbox immediately um, works with booleans. So that's good news for me. That's going to simplify this a little bit. I haven't worked with these yet, so I'm not quite sure exactly what they're going to be doing. It would be cool to have like an interview with Epic and stuff like that. Alright, now these checkboxes are going to need like a background or some kind of like highlight or something. Maybe I can change um, how they look. The style maybe? Hmm. Padding maybe? No. Outline? I'm not really sure what I want to do. I'll worry about that in a second. So the top one is dismantle, the bottom one is drop, right? If I don't ask what? Oh, um, what do you mean by that? Did you know that a lot of people thinks your Doom 2 WAD deserves a Keiko Award for 2018, but and the end of everything is politics and blah blah blah. I would imagine that it would be really cool to get a Keiko Award for that level. I don't know what the main criticisms of it are though. Like maybe it's only brutal doom or something like that could probably ruin chances. I don't know though, but I put a lot of work into that, and that level is a big inspiration for me moving forward with the kind of combat and stuff like that I'm doing with this game. So like if you play that level, that's what I want to do. Like I want that in this game. So you already kind of have an idea. Oh yeah. I have to like look into that like for having an interview. I thought you were talking about like an interview where like they'd be like asking me questions. No, like a public interview. Like a job interview. Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's the thing though. Like when I worked on Redemption of the Slain, I wanted to do something new. And also too, like Brutal Doom is a really interesting thing to me because one of the main topics that I kept going over, even while working on No Rest for the Living, was the idea of like how to work with like how to take something that's like old school like Doom, and how does it measure up and how does it become something that's new, and that's like So when I worked with Brutal Doom, I was like, it was kind of like in lieu of that. That's sort of like Brutal Doom is kind of like a lot of new concepts, but it's still the same. It's still like old school flow. So to me, it's just really interesting. Well, I wonder what that would be like having like an interview. I wonder if I'm even gonna like choke up if I'm like talking to people doing like a public interview. Forget my own name or something. Just stare at the camera. All right. Although I do. What's the other one? There's another main mod, Project Brutality. I have not played Project Brutality, but Project Brutality also looks like something that would be very appealing to me. Maybe even more so in some ways. It's like a different, or whereas Brutal Doom is kind of more arcadey, Project Brutality is kind of more like micromanagey and like featurey, feature creepy. Oh man, like any kind of attention like that would be like amazing. I would definitely be up for talking to Epic about that. Like uh if I can get this a little bit further along. I mean, let's see what happens once I get this demo out. We can see like, all right, this game's a total pile of crap. Like maybe you should just like give up, or maybe it's like, hey, this is pretty cool, but you gotta change a couple of things. Or it might be like, this is fucking amazing, like you nailed it or something. Steps somewhere in that range. That's gonna determine what I do next. Yeah, it kind of looks like Brutal Doom on crack. I was thinking like an online. Oh yeah, I already read that. I was watching somebody play Project Brutality. Is Icarus Lives? Is it Icarus Lives? He sometimes streams himself playing. He's a Twitch streamer, and he plays a lot of Doom and stuff, and he does reviews of like classic games and stuff. I imagine if this game gets any further, like I'll probably end up getting to watch myself, like watch him play this. Oh boy, no pressure. Ugh, I gotta stop doing this where I'm getting like all like perfectionist with trying to make things centered and on the grid. All right, let's see. Okay, so these are now hooked up to uh, that. I think I need to make sure though that like anytime these change, I think I know what I can do here. Is there? Yeah, on state changed. Uh, I think I'm on the gaming YouTube, but I might be wrong. I might be wrong. What's the easiest way to actually test that? That's kind of silly for me not to know that. Wow. I think that when Zombie Doll was setting it up, she actually, this is my girlfriend. She set it up to be on the gaming YouTube. But I'm not even really sure because this is like not really gaming so much. Although I can do that. Maybe play some cool Doom mods or something. All right. It's hard for me to stay focused. Okay, you went through the gaming sub, but I was asking more about the interface you used. Right now, it just looks like regular. It just looks like regular YouTube on my interface. Yeah. Alright, so when you click on these, I need to be able to make sure that they are modified. Okay, so they're tied to those variables. Hold on a second, I gotta think about this. Okay, so they're tied to these booleans now. And it's in the actual inventory icon is where I check to see if it's already selected, and then you click it a second time. So I have to hijack the function within that. So use item function, let's see, direct item reference, selection list. Okay, so that's right here. So I grab the item. Okay, item clicked button. It's in my backpack, which is the regular inventory, right? And then I go through here. Now I got player controller, and this is the item selection list, which is just, right now I only allow you to do one item at a time, but, oh, I got a whole bunch of stuff in Steemit. It checks to see if the direct item reference on this is the same as the one that's in the selection list. Alright, so where am I hijacking to get this new functionality in place? I think it would be in use item. Yeah, because this is just checking to see if the item's the same one, because it has to like go through the entire list. Wow, Steemit's like blowing up. What's going on here? So cool, brother. We'll get a chance to test the beta. Always wanted to be a game tester. uh, I noticed on Steemit that I can't upvote myself for some reason. That was a little weird. Alright, back to this. So the use item function, this is where I'm hijacking. I'm adding new functionality right here. Now what I need to do is I need to find a reference to the inventory itself, which, oh man, I hope I don't mess up. Like I have to like, yeah, I'll have to go through the player controller, won't I? That's the tooltip. Item icon, selection marker, direct item list, player controller. There's no reference to the actual inventory. So I'm going to have to go through the player controller to access what I need to check against. So the first thing I need to do is check to see if either one of these is true, right? And in that case, I guess it would be like, what's in the HUD inventory? What are you referenced as in player HUD? Let me hide the travel network. There's so many widgets. Like, there's a ton of widgets in this. Travel. I gotta hide the travel network. Just make it invisible. Okay. Equipment. That is, I need inventory. Inventory player. So it's PS HUD, inventory player. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. So PS HUD, inventory player. Okay. Now, can do the horrible active. Let's see, what were the two variables that I set? Dismantle and drop. So I need to check get dismantle, and I need to get drop. Alright, so now that I got these two, I need to do an OR boolean. So is this or that true? That'll be the first check. If either of them are true, continue on as usual. Nothing has changed. I can just leave that right here. However, things will get more complicated now. If one of them is true, I gotta determine which one it is. And I'll just do those in sequential order. So basically on this, when either of these change state, I gotta set the other one to false. So that you can only have one active at a time. If I don't do this, then what's gonna happen is you'll have to, like, you could possibly have both of them turned on at the same time, and that would be really annoying. So like sorry, so if the dismantle one is, then this one has to be, oops, no. Oh wait, maybe I do have to do it this way. Go like this, and widget, no. Set content, no. I think actually if they're inextricably tied to each other, then maybe I can just do this and it'll be super easy. And then if this one is true, I can test this right now just to make sure. You can't have both of them active at the same time, otherwise it's going to cause problems. You are not on LinkedIn, but Steemit has created a share link for people watching you. Huh. Let's see if I can get this. Alright, so if I have, oh, it's not toggling either. Oh, okay. Let me see. Do I have to do some crazy stuff where it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to like specify what it needs to be, so I can't just be like, oh, okay, branch. So there's a little bit more going on with these than I was thinking, but that's fine. That's fine, unless it's probably simpler than I think it is, and I'm just kind of overdoing it. But now I have to actually make sure that I check. Okay, so you got, all right, so if mode drop is true, then specify both of them to be false. Right? Ah, man, I don't even have a LinkedIn. Like, I got rid of my LinkedIn a while back when I realized that it was kind of useless. And I know that's probably a sin. It's just that most of the time when it comes to jobs in the game industry, it's really about knowing somebody in the company. And it's more about that than it is about anything else. So, like, I was just like, fuck this. I just got rid of it. Which I mean, eh, I guess the more I'm out there, the better, and all that. It's just, what's the point? But that's probably not the best attitude. So let's see. Now I set both to false on this. So if dismantle mode is true, then disable both of them. If it's false, then set dismantle mode to true. And if drop mode is false, like a while back I was unemployed for like 11 months, right? And like LinkedIn did literally nothing for me. It was so pointless. The only reason why I would get like an interview is because I knew somebody or I met somebody or I talked to somebody directly. Like it's game industry stuff, man. It's uh referrals are like 90% of like who gets hired. So like I mean LinkedIn really just wasted my time. But maybe I'm yeah, I mean it is probably for another topic. It's just I've gotten a lot more used to it now. The idea of like having to find work and stuff like that in the game industry, and like there's a lot of very specific things that you should be doing. You should be like trying to find contract work. You should be like making sure that you make connections with people, which is something I'm really bad at doing. And then and that's usually how you're going to get your foot in the door. Otherwise, like yeah, if they do, I mean, I'm not even 100% sure I like working in a place that has an HR department, but that's another topic as well. Bureaucracy is not fun. But anyway, it's probably nearly impossible to find a place that doesn't have an HR department at this point in time. I don't know. I've just been doing this for so long that like I don't know. It's a weird thing. So, all right, this actually should work now. Hold on. This should actually specify and make sure that if one is true, the other one will be false. Why? Okay, what am I doing here? I must have did something silly. Is this checked? Dismantle. That should work. Unless there's something else going on here. Make sure that it's actually being set. Undetermined? Maybe? No. Well, I do actually want it to be undetermined, but I guess unchecked is probably going to be undetermined to some degree. This is going to be weird because it's not working how I think it works. Toggle button. Is it a toggle button? I might have to actually look up a quick video because there's something I'm missing that's really, really simple. Yeah. It's registering the click, but it's not doing anything. It's not specifying anything. It's another topic in which you lose your voice. I'm going to be losing my voice by the end of the week. Um, I didn't hear about Microsoft. What's going on with Microsoft? I like the toggle button. It's much better looking. Alright, what am I missing that's so simple? Well, let me see if this is even registering. So, print string hello. Alright. Actually, there we go. And get rid of this. Same with this. True, 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 but it's not true. How is that? What in the world is going on with that? Maybe I shouldn't have these things bound. The binding is just what? Mass staff layoffs on the horizon because of a mess in competitive space online like AWS. Huh. Man, I hate hearing about stuff like that. Okay, true, false. True, false. So why would I have the option to like bind these to a boolean if the boolean doesn't automatically change with it's weird. Okay. So binding those checkboxes with a boolean is not a good thing to do. It accomplishes nothing. Just keep that in mind, guys. That's weird. There must be something to that I'm just missing. All right. So now it's working. All right. And now it's not. Wait, if you're true, if I set this in this, yeah, these both can't be true at the same time. There's something funky going on with that. Huh. And this is dumb because Amazon have gotten thousands of ex-Microsoft staff fully trained and ready to go. Why exactly is the competitive space online causing layoffs? Like, what's causing that? Like, are you talking about? Yeah. What's the exact reason for that? So if this is true. So they set up a web service and it's causing Microsoft to have layoffs, and then they get all their employees. That's got to be fucking. That reminds me of that. What was that scene in the Monty Python movie? What was it? Where the guys are like acting like pirates when they're all businessmen and they're like shooting like drawers at each other and like you see another building like getting kind of rolling up and they're having like a board meeting or something. Oh my god. Shit is more accurate than it needs to be. All right. Okay, so if this is true, this is not working how I think it is supposed to be working. Oh yeah. All right. Actually, it is. It's just I'm doing it wrong because that's not modifying the checkbox. So the variables are working correctly, but underneath the checkboxes have to be the thing that get reset. So I need to be force resetting these checkboxes. This is really strange because this is something that should be functioning very very simply, but the reason why it's messing up is because I thought that the Boolean being part of this, yeah, like tying the Booleans was the thing I needed to do. This is confusing me for some reason. Okay. I need to get those widgets. Is it state? Yeah, set checked state. Ah. Yeah. See, that's what it was supposed to do in the first place, though. So that just makes this really weird. Like the Booleans were supposed to do this in the first place. Like I shouldn't have to manually specify what their state is. I thought the Boolean would do that, but the Boolean wasn't changing. Yeah, meaning of life. Oh God. So obviously these are gonna both be unchecked if this is true, which is probably gonna be the case. All right. And then I go here and dismantle will be unchecked, but drop will be checked. This is really, I'm doing this wrong. I gotta be doing this wrong. Yeah. Okay, so the dismantle mode is now checked. Okay. Ah, man. So like this is one of those things, man. Why in the world wouldn't it just tie? All right, I got it working. Why wouldn't just tying the Boolean to the checkbox make the Boolean true or false based on the state of the checkbox? Why wouldn't it just do that automatically? Now I ended up having to do some really weird, funky stuff just to make that work correctly. Is that a bug? Or am I dumb? There's somewhere in the middle, maybe. I don't know, but okay, so I got that working now, hopefully. That is now most likely working, maybe. I think it is. Just my gut's telling me anyway. So the drop mode is true. Dismantle mode is true. Make sure that everything. And if you double click, it should turn off. Okay, yeah, this is all. This I didn't test this yet. Yeah, okay. So if it's already on and then you turn it off, then it just shuts off. Okay. Wonder why it's like that. So like, all right, what was I getting at? All right, now that I have this functioning, this mess, that should not have worked this way. This should have been much simpler. Um, okay, now I know what mode it is. So I go back into here. All right. Now I gotta figure out, I gotta do one test for one or the other. Alright, so I can do a sequence. Doesn't matter because only one can be true anyway. And I'm gonna use the force Luke. Oh god, look at all these references. It's a big like stack of shit. Branch. As weird as this stuff is though, like I gotta say I enjoy working with blueprints. If that makes any sense. I just feel like I'm playing like Minecraft creative mode. This is fucking Redstone. Alright, and you gotta be, oh no. You gotta be the drop mode. Alright. So this first test is gonna be just using a print. Gotta go to Mos Eisley. I don't want to. I don't want to get fragged by stormtroopers. All right. I'm gonna print. Dismantle. Oh, print. I gotta print it. Just type it. Can the computer just read my mind? That would be really nice. Man, that would be like the end of it. The end of everything. Like, fuck artificial intelligence, man. Just the ability to like have a tool that just literally reads your mind and you just think about what you need and then it just does it. Whew, that would be fucked up. Drop. Okay. Could use a glass of wine myself right now. Let's see. Alright, so what I need to do is, okay, I have dismantle turned on. Now I'm just gonna alright, dismantle mode. So I successfully hijacked where it does the use item function in the script. So now I can just double click stuff. So like while this checkbox is true, I gotta move the checkbox to a place that's a little bit more obvious. You don't have to do this anymore where you select it and dismantle, you know what I mean? Like you can literally just double click while that's true. And then I have to make sure that every time you do something significant, like turn the menu off, it just resets the modes. So like you have to like specify the mode every time. And then once I'm done with this, I'm gonna compile it. I'm gonna compile the game, like, and put it up for download. Because I think it's well, I'm gonna do a test run just to play it, and then yeah, I think it'll be ready for today's build. So I just gotta finish this. So every time I reset stats, I want these to be set to 0. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to make a function that just sets everything to off state. So like reset modes, custom, I'm going to make a custom event, reset modes, reset mode state. And I could just grab this. Unchecked, unchecked, unchecked. Just a little bit easier. This is a little bit more portable. So it's a little easier in code to reference it. But every single time you shut off, which is in the player controller, which you're going to have to go to the player controller, but every single time you shut off the menu, I want this to reset, because something that I don't want players to do, I want to make sure that this never happens, but I want to make sure that players never experience accidentally dismantling something that they didn't want to dismantle when they really meant to equip it or something like that. So I'm gonna kind of force you to have to like make sure that every single time you go into the menu, you you set that mode. You have to specify it like each time if you want it. So I'm doing an onrep menu act main menu. That's main menu. I need onrep inventory active. Let's update inventory icons. And then here HUD ref, I'm going to go inventory get, and then on that it's going to be reset. So reset cursor. Alright, I'm fucking something up. PS HUD inventory. It's rest mode state. Reset. There it is. I know what I'm doing. I think. Kinda. Sorta. Kinda have some idea. Ish. Oh, okay. Oh no. Oh no. Why is it doing this to me? I thought it I'm guaranteeing that I just changed the name of it right now. But it thinks I didn't. That's a bug. Renaming stuff in this engine. Why? It's like it's the Achilles heel of the Unreal 4 engine is renaming shit. I mean, I'm not expecting blood from stone, but come on. Come on, fix this one thing, please. Anytime you rename stuff, you risk major errors with your shit. So, keep that in mind. Alright, I just gave myself starting items. I have completely fucked everything just now. That is great. That is really weird. Everything just got fucked because of that. Do I still lose everything? No. No, I got everything back. All because I renamed something. God, man. Like, alright, if there's one thing that can warrant everybody when you're using this tech, like, never rename files. Like, be very careful when you rename shit. Be very careful when you move things, and be very careful when you rename functions. Renaming the functions doesn't usually burn the entire thing to the ground, but yeah, you gotta just be careful about that stuff, and make sure that you make sure that every time you do something like that, like renaming a file, always like fix up redirectors and folders. In fact, I'll do that right now, but that's unrelated to what just happened. What just happened is the engine had a hissy fit with me. And let's see what happens if I... Okay, fixed itself. Alright. Alright, dismantle. Drop. We're in good shape. Fixed redirectors, I think I've heard solves that. It can. It's still a risk. Even though I'm still gonna say that this is probably the best 3D engine available right now to like everybody. I think this is straight up just like the best 3D engine you can get your hands on right now. Maybe with like some contenders that aren't available to everybody, like Frostbite or something like that. But this engine still has like weird issues, and one of its main hangups is that file redirectors and renaming shit is dangerous. And I've actually killed a project. I tried to do a first person shooter project like a couple years ago. Or was it a year ago? And it actually hosed the project because I renamed things too much, and I used whatchamacallits too often. Not enumerations. Structs. You overuse structs. You need structs for data tables. You should only be using structs for data tables. But yeah, be very mindful. In fact, you shouldn't even be doing things quite like what I'm doing right now. See, I have the base class, right? And sitting in a base folder, and then I have all of the children sitting in the main thing here. The only reason why I did it this way is because sometimes it's a little easier to be able to directly reference the item. Like if I want to spawn a pair of Hermes boots, right? Like I just made where are the boots? I just made like a special class of boots that are a named item, right? Like I want to be able to directly reference that rather than reference this and like pull out a certain row on the data table. Which now that I know what I know, I think it's always better to just use the base class and have the data table and just point to the data table whenever the object is spawned, and don't even bother doing this. I'm just doing it now for consistency's purpose, but like in future projects, I'm gonna probably keep this even simpler, where there's the fewer and fewer things that you have, the less likely your project is to eat itself alive. And eating itself alive is something that can happen, but I'm feeling pretty confident about this one. I think I got this one. Like, I don't think this one's going to eat itself alive because it's not really that complicated. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's not like overly complicated. It's really just a lot of features and stuff. The most complicated part of the whole project has to be the player HUD and stuff. Okay, so now that I got this, I can now point to direct item reference, right? Because that's what I was doing with this, right? Use item function. What is the use item function? Oh, this is to figure out what it is. Oh, wait. I didn't want to close that. Damn it. That was inventory. I need to be in the icon. Make sure everything's saved. Get back into this. Alright. What I'm doing differently this time is I'm going to invoke different functions for dropping. So I'm going to go to dismantle item. Player controller is where all this stuff is going on, and there are functions that are directly, because inventory is located on the player controller. I don't store the inventory on anything else. So I have drop item. Are you grabbing the item selection list? Oh, okay. So it's just grabbing 0 on the item selection list. So it automatically works. Okay. So if that's the case, then I can just dismantle item and drop item. So I think this is gonna work. The reason why I have it set up this way is because I was originally planning to have it set up so I am a guy who enjoys industrial music. Nailed it. You got a telephone? What's the telephone? Are you saying you want to join on Discord? You can probably do that. Let's see. Sorry, I just got a little bit too focused on this. So the reason why is this is set up right now. I have it set up as a as an array, and this is your item selection list. And for a while, I had it set up where like you can select a whole bunch of things, but then it ended up just getting kind of confusing. Like it's actually kind of just easier to do what I'm doing right now. Like not just for me, but for the player. It's a little easier to understand because like select like 20 things and they're all different kinds of things, and then you can like click dismantle. It's just confusing. It's kind of fucked up. So what I have now instead is you set up two different modes. So now I want to go into dismantle mode, right? Now I can just dismantle, 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 dismantle. Oh my god, quality of life. Like, of course you can still do this where it's, and then you can double click. And I just dismantled 10 fabrication data and got a whole bunch of metal scraps. Alright, so that's so much better. And it turns off. Okay, I'm good. I'm ready. I'm ready for the demo. I think that's it. Didn't that feel really haphazard? I feel like I was just kind of throwing stuff around. Drop. Alright, now I just gotta place these. I gotta place these like in the button and see how that works. If that works, then we're in shape. We're in good shape. But this is gonna be kind of messed up because it might press both of them at the same time, which I don't think will be good. But also, look how invisible that looks when it's just sitting there. And where should I put it? Like, I know it needs to be in the button somewhere, but like, should I put it in the like over here? What do you guys think? Should it? All right, maybe. All right, I'll put it up in the top left corner. Just. Right, but I gotta make it look like something. Let's see. Border background color, dark gray. Will that actually change that? Nope. Where's the where do I actually set the color of the checkbox itself? Am I just missing this? Border color, padding, foreground. I mean, this color this color entails transparency or something. Like, what the? Why is it that color? Like, where did that come from? Tint? Tint might work. There it is. Dark gray. You got it. Make it really dark. I think that's about as dark as it's gonna go. And then I'll do the same with this tint. Does it look like a checkbox though? I don't know. This is one of those things where it's like, you know, when you get a game and like it has like weird stuff and you kind of have to learn, but once you learn it, like you get used to it, but like, and you almost kind of feel like every game should have it or something like that. But this is like one of those weird things where it's like, why do you do it this way? I don't know. Well, let's see if it works. Checkbox becomes invisible as fuck. When it's checked. Okay, so unchecked image and checked image will have to be the same way. Will have to be all the way down. Unchecked pressed image, hover image. Wow, you get a lot of ability to like modify these. I can make it look like an icon as well. Like, huh. I have a feeling the Unreal 4 engine is gonna spawn just like, oh, okay. So the hovering is pretty fucked up. That's not that bad. I can live with that. I need to make it so that the hovering doesn't make it invisible. It has maybe like a slightly lighter gray. So when you're hovering. So checked, hovered image, pressed image. I'm okay with it turning completely white when you press it, so that it kind of looks like something. So let's try. Yeah, just like a little bit. Let me make point. Oops. Now Now I fucked it up. I gotta like type it in manually. Unchecked hovered image. Fuck it, it'll be faster to. Oops. Okay. I think this will get it to be what it needs to be. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I need to do? Yeah, that works. Huh. Kind of wish I had this when I was like testing things a million times in the past. Now I can just drop and fucking dismantle things. I don't know, what do you guys think? Wish I could use a submachine gun, but it's level fucking 7. Did I ever show the Magnum? It's more accurate when you zoom in. Fires like much higher damaging bullets. Magnum fires slow, but it does a lot of damage. Alright. I think I'm good for compiling this. Let me look at my list. Alright. Alright, I did Hermes boots. They exist now. I might have a stream maybe tomorrow where all I'm doing is just like asking you guys for if you guys come on, or just coming up with like items. I want to come up with maybe about 10, maybe 15 items that are uniques and kind of hide them all over the place. I want it to be kind of like Dark Souls where there's just like unique items, like is just part of the fucking exploration. Later, man. Let's see. I don't know what's up with this. Maybe I just imagined it, but I can't get that bug to come back again. All guns have their own screen shake and kick. That's going to be part of the visual update that I'm doing next. So that's going to be this week's goals. Toggle dismantle and drop checkboxes. You are in play. You got this. The sniper rifle could use a mesh. I could do that. I could do that real quick. Idle movement for models. So like when you're standing still, there's kind of like a sway or like a breathing, so the weapon kind of like moves a little bit. Toggle for what appears in all lists. You know, maybe it's not necessary to even worry about that right now. I do need an exploding barrel. Now, the cool thing about exploding barrels and shit like that is that it's going to be the first time that I'm actually modifying the class of NPCs to have NPCs that behave different ways. And I know it's a little strange that a barrel is going to be an NPC, but it's going to be basically the barrel and other objects like that, like interactive objects, breakable wall pieces and shit that you can deal damage to, are all going to be derived from the class of NPCs. Welcome back. How long were you gone? Oh, you were on the phone? That's what that was. I thought you were asking to go on Discord or something. I'm an idiot. Alright, let's see. Vehicle is not a drivable vehicle. That is a visual vehicle. In the first, and that's something that's a little bit further off. But once you get to the dark base, oh yeah, that's right. While I'm here, I'm gonna fix a couple of errors. I don't know how to actually select. No. I'll fix those later. But in the dark base, the first real level in the game. All right. So like the plan is to have 8 regular levels. The first 2 levels don't count. Those are like free, right? But the first episode, and this is gonna be episodic, like the first episode is 8 regular levels that are like this one. And this one's not even fully laid out yet, but um, the dark base being the first level in the game, I want to have like a parked truck, like an old like some kind of like cool looking vehicle, and it's gonna be all voxels, and you'll have tires and like a side. It'll be an interesting art project to like try and get that, but that's what some of these things like this are placeholders of, and like there's also just going to be like really large, like stacks of crates and stuff that are like unique. But so there's going to be some unique art assets and stuff. So with that said, one of the things on the list. So when I say vehicle, it doesn't mean drivable. I'm not gonna have drivable vehicles. At least I don't. I mean, I know how to do it, but no. I gotta keep this like realistic. Toggle for what appears in all lists. Need visual cue for locked door. This is actually a higher design thing that I need to like decide about. So one of the things that I'm doing right now is you can't access certain doors unless you do a battle sequence, right? So like here is a battle, a pre-scripted battle sequence, right? And it's marked as a number 2. And anything with a similar marking, so it's basically like instead of keys open doors, it's fight boss and fight enemies to open a door, kind of stuff. That's kind of the flow of it. So like once you do that battle one time, you now have access to everything with that same mark. So the thing is, should I be using a visual marking, or should I have like some kind of like thing that connects it to like I don't know, some kind of like thing on the wall that like leads up, like some kind of a wire or something that glows when you now have access to it. I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. Like I could just make I could just do like a color code where it's like red, yellow, and blue, and every level has red, yellow, and blue like combat markers, and it can just be like the red, yellow, and blue keys. And then every level just has their own list. And once you have it, you have it. I could do it that way too. And I mean that works. We know that works because Doom did that a long time ago, and it seemed to work out okay. Um, so that's that. So I'm still not really sure, but I'm probably gonna go the Doom route. Honestly, I might just make it so that it's a color. You'll see a combat object. I'm not sure how I want it to look yet, but it'll have the color coding. It'll be like red, yellow, blue, and when you defeat that fight, you'll have access to all doors, lifts, anything. But there's another thing that I'm doing on top of that, and that is I don't let you go into the next area twice. This has now happened twice, unless you channel the home point. So if you're in an area where there's a home point or a bonfire or whatever, I don't let you go into the next area without doing it. Maybe I shouldn't bother. Maybe I should just let the player fuck himself. I mean, that's kind of what Dark Souls does. Dark Souls does. Like, Dark Souls doesn't really cut you any slack. If you fuck around, you're just not gonna beat the game. So I don't know. Anyway, with that said, that's visual markers for the doors. health pickup and armor pickups are pointless. Not anymore, actually. I just fixed that. I might have made them too useful now. For those of you who had just come in, I added functionality where you see a number right here. It's kind of hard to see it. Maybe I should change the color or something. But you can actually press Z to use Mega Health, and it just automatically pops it, kind of like an Estus flask. Doom Souls, yeah, very much. It's Doom Souls. In fact, I could actually treat those like Estus flasks. The only thing is that the only difference is that they're consumables and you have to find them, right? But like, they're all over the place and they respawn. But like, you can have a whole bunch of them, so that might be kind of sucky. But maybe I can make them heavier or something. Maybe I can also make it so like when you use it, you have to walk slowly for like 5 seconds or something like that, 3 seconds of just like slow movement. So like you pop it, the screen kind of like that, and like you move slowly. Maybe the sound effect can be like a heartbeat or something, or it's like and then you just kind of come back again, because you'll be vulnerable during that time. You won't be able to move as quickly as you can and stuff. And that would kind of make it like you have to like run around, find some cover, or get away from the enemies for a second, and then pop it. And you could do the same thing with armor as well. So like armor right here. I don't have any of those on me right now. I just have concoctions, I'm calling them. And that's the plus attack. Berserker. A Berserker concoction. See how much damage? 225. It's a 25% increase in damage. I think it's when I get the tooltips actually working, you'll be able to see the exact numbers. Like Endless Potion gives me more carry weight and it gives me action points, but I don't have anything that consumes action points in the game yet. But action points are for like your AP module gives you action points depending on its level and stuff like that, and you can get double jumping, which uses up your AP module. Double jumping, jetpack uses action points, and then you have an ability, which is kind of like an ultimate from Overwatch, which is just like you could do various things. I don't know, but yeah, one of those things might be a grappling hook. I'm kind of leaning in that direction, but that's going to be a little bit further off. It'll be a bit before I get to that because I need to get everything else in place first. Oh wait, that's level 5. I need to be another level higher. That's why I didn't use that broad axe. Anyway, I think I'm in pretty good shape for packaging this up. First true boss fight. I can't wait for that. I want to do like genuine no bullshit boss fight at the end of Dark Base. Like you actually have to fight a boss, and he's got stages, and he spawns ads, and they walk towards the center, and they carry like bombs or something. Or maybe there's like treadmills where there's like explosive barrels, and the barrels reach the center before you destroy them. It causes a huge explosion, and it like does lots and lots of damage. The boss fights will be the same thing as kind of like the combat sequences. It'll all work under the same system. Character creation's a little farther off. Display edges of pre-scripted battle areas. I did this. That's done. When you're in a pre-scripted battle area, there's a red dome that appears, and if you walk outside of the dome, it resets the fight. That's already in there. Set up tooltips to work correctly. That's going to be enjoyable. So many items in the game. Adjust spawn based on size of the NPC. I don't need to worry about that yet. Make a grenade launcher fire an upward arc. Oh yeah, that's kind of annoying. Right now, we could talk music, throw some bands at us for tunes. Do you guys have any idea what kind of music? Like, I want there to be like ambience, kind of like old school, like Doom 64 music, like that ambience where it's like like really like ambient. But then once the battle sequences start, I want that to change into like something kind of Doom 2016ish. I So it's like, then you have like the guitar and the metal and the fucking like industrial like shit. If if I could have sort of like those transition into each other, that'd be really fucking cool. He made he made a Doom mod into a full game. I believe it, honestly. I've never seen it though. What is it? I'll have to check it out. On that note, I think this is going to be good for the first demo today because I'm looking over everything and I'm not really seeing anything that's outstanding that other than this. I could probably do this right now, but um I mean, it's a little bit further into the game anyway. You don't get the grenade launcher until you've done the first battle. Oh, you might get a grenade launcher in the first area because you fight grenadiers. Those big guys with the armor that just launch grenades at you constantly in the first fight. Unloved. I'm gonna have to check that out. Oh yeah, Kill Pixel. I checked out that video last night, man. That's pretty cool. Like, it reminded me a lot of like Blood, but uh, how much of the game do you have done? Is that uh, is that all just your project? Like, are you solo doing that? Because it's pretty fucking cool. Is it based on what is it based on? I couldn't tell. All right, let me save everything. This is gonna be really rough on my fucking CPU. It looks pretty cool. It has an interesting style to it. It reminds me a lot of like a combination of Quake 1 and Blood. That's the vibes I got. It also kind of reminds me of Stray, honestly. I'm willing to bet that like what I'm doing right now is really not even that crazy because there's probably a ton of people who are basically already done the same thing. This is the first time I've had this much power though, with the Unreal 4 engine, the blueprint system. It just kind of it's working out really well for me. It's based on idTech. Are you talking about Doom and Quake, or are you talking about Doom 3? Huh. Plutonia. Yeah, Plutonia. I don't know, man. I don't know about making something like Plutonia. Plutonia went too far. I'm more of a TNT kind of person, personally. All right, I closed down that. All right, because what I'm doing right now is I'm going into just the build of the game. Performance might be hindered a bit because I'm not running in the window. Like, I'm not streaming this from the game capture. I know that sometimes kind of fucks with things. Stardate or Sunlust? Quake? Huh. Q3 map 2. Plutonia is easy. Oh man, I don't think so. Alright, so you start off in the game with a whole bunch of stuff. I don't like doing it this way, but it's kind of necessary right now. Especially when there's like no audio. So like it's gonna feel really weird to the player anyway. But this is the first room in the game, and I say objects like this contain items that you can use, and I give you a health boost. Oh, that is something I should do, is change the color of that so that you can see the number. Um, but no, I'll worry about that in a little bit because I'm doing a visual and everything this week. Like, press Z to quick use a med kit. Press C to quick use an armor repair kit. Armor values your durability. Defense values how much damage is reduced. That's here. I didn't equip anything yet. I'm expecting that a lot of people are probably just gonna grab the items, kind of like look at these things and just run. All right, so the first area, you see the transition from the post-processing volumes is a little obvious. All right, that was an imp up there. Loot. I'm expecting a lot of people are gonna get shot in the butt. There's an imp up there just taking pot shots. Hold on a second. Let me kill this imp so I can read what you're saying. This game does not have a pause function, but it does have a Project Stray, and you can like exit the game now. All right. It wasn't all that hard. Plutonia was a fucking nightmare. Was hard. Was hard, but not insanely hard. Going down. Have yet to play that. Been trying to play all of Ribik's stuff. I also beat Plutonia on Ultra Violence before all of this, by the way. Going down the most amazing non-linear design ever. Please check it out. I want to see that. We'll definitely give it a play sometime then. Trust me, it's a masterpiece. Huh, it's called Going Down? Wait, is that what it's called? Or am I misunderstanding? This is a secret. Spoilers. Got 466 credits off of that. So this is the first blueprint. This is the first secret in the game. It doesn't say like anything cheesy like secret, but chances are if you're finding a blueprint, you found a secret. But basically the idea is that I'm going to be hiding blueprints for unique items like everywhere. They're just going to be like all over the place. So I got a little bit further in. Alright, so far so good. Like, you got blurry texture as a style choice, I guess. It looks like an N64. I don't know, I'm gonna get used to that idea. I got an imp sniping. So the enemies do have like a sniper state, and if you get too close to them, they'll switch out of it. So zombie security guy. I can't wait until I have something to like represent what these guys actually look like. Sometimes I swear when I'm working on this, I feel like I'm making a Doom WOD. That's actually intentional too. Like that's exactly how I want. That's exactly the kind of feeling that I want to invoke. Because I see a lot of people trying to like make like bringing back the classic. Like you look at like a game like Strafe or something, and they're like, we're totally bringing back the classic shooter. Like it didn't feel like it at all to me. I mean, they kind of like they made it seem that way, but it was faux classic. This is genuine fucking classic. Alright. Alright, so this is the first battle area, right? So, like, I'm not exactly sure, like, how to do this yet, but I'm kind of leaning in a direction and just making this, like, use the same symbolism from Doom, where it's like, that's a fucking colored cube. But this is a battle, right? So you walk up to this and you channel it. Right? And then once it's channeled, you'll see the red dome spawns over. If you walk outside of that dome, it resets the fight. So you have to be within that dome in order to win. All right, a couple more guys spawn. I want to have like effects when these guys spawn and it sounds, so you actually like see it. The difference though is that the enemies aren't gonna wait. Like the effect is just there as sort of like um cake, like icing on the cake. The enemies are already like pissed off at you and probably shooting at you by the time they spawn. So like the effects are just. All right, so I'm being chased by a whole bunch of fast zombies. I got a fucking minigunner over here. Let's kill this guy first. All right. All right, 2 grenadiers just spawned. You can see the grenades that they're throwing, and the grenades do kill the zombies. It's usually a pretty good way to kill the zombies. But man, without sound and explosions, it's not the same, because these guys are just blowing shit up. There's just explosions everywhere right now. But you can't really see them. They just look like circles. It's gonna make a big difference once I get sound and effects in this. Music too. All right. So when the fight ends, you'll notice the dome ends. The music will change. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I'm doing Slaughter. Like there's gonna be stuff that's gonna be very, very, very much like Slaughter, or at least close. You'll see levels that are just like packed with enemies. I'm gonna try and see how fucking. Yeah, BZ will love me. I think BZ I think he had his final stream very recently. All right, so this fight is the first time you get a shotgun. So I basically just guarantee you a shotgun when you do this fight. Also, did I level up? No, I'm still just level 1. I also wanted to make sure that you get at least. I'm missing a helmet. Dismantle that. All right, so I got my shotgun. It's revamped from like the last time. Looks a little more like a shotgun, but maybe it still needs a little bit of work. And this is this area. Yay! From last night's stream. And I put a health booster up here. So now I've got 3 health boosters and 1 armor booster. Okay. And exit to the Forgotten Bulwark. Slaughter done right. I'll have to check that out. Maybe I will do some stream where it's just me playing Doom levels. So that's this area. You might recognize this section right here. So like one of the things this probably should have graphics and stuff. I'll try and get like something in for the bonfires or the home points. But like I don't let you open up this door. Uh-oh. There's an error. I guess I do now. But the door is not supposed to open until you do this, until you get the fast travel network. Also, there's supposed to be a, oh, there's a couple of things missing here. Unless I picked it up and I didn't even realize it. I did, didn't I? Did I walk in and pick something up and not even think about it? Because there's like a stash that's supposed to give you enough to do some crafting in this first section. So right now, the blaster is definitely a better weapon. And it's also level 2 when I only have a level 1 pistol. This is exactly the kind of thinking that I want the player doing. Like, kind of deciding, like, alright, I think what I'll do is, I'm still level 1. So level 2 blaster, I can't really do anything with these yet. So I need to get another level. Okay, so with that said, I want to fix a couple of small things before I package this up. So hitting escape, does that work? Okay, that works. I'm gonna fix a couple of small things, and then I'm gonna package this up, and then I'm gonna put it out. Because I ran into a couple of small problems that I didn't want to see. So what do you guys think about it so far? That's like the very first part of the game. It's like 20 minutes of gameplay, I think, maybe. Sweet, man. What I like about this is that it's not. I'm not like you have like a really solid idea of the game. Like sometimes it kind of bothers me when I see people talking about their idea and they don't have anything to really back it up. It's just me though. I think everybody's different, but for me, it just I like it so much more when I feel like things are grounded. You know what I mean? Like, but then again, if things are on, if I like start saying like magical things that like you know, you'll be able to like use vehicles to assess the situation, whatever the fuck that means, like. But that sounds awesome, and people would probably like the game more if I was saying shit like that. Unfortunately, like, but to me that just I don't know. I don't like that kind of stuff. I like things to be like straight up. Okay, so there's player health and armor. Alright, this is the first thing I need to fix. So there's player armor, player health, and I need to make sure that this background is like a different color. I'm gonna make it a little bit darker for now, so that you can see. Alright, that'll make those numbers a little easier to see. It should be like a graphic, like a health icon and an armor icon. Maybe this week I'll get something in place that just like at least looks like a health and an armor thingy, and then it'll be like a number in the middle of it. Enemy models, I want to have basic enemy models this week. I'm going to be working a lot on the visuals and the sounds. I've thought about sprites. Maybe. It depends. The only reason why I'm going to lean more heavily towards sprites is if I find myself having performance issues when I want to have really big fights, and I think it's more important to have like really cool like battles where there's like tons of dudes than it is to have like dudes that look like voxels. So I don't know. I'm on the fence at the moment. Okay, so that was the first thing that I needed to do, and then there's a bug on this level. 2 bugs. Why didn't this appear? Or did that appear and I just pick it up and not even realize it? Hub 01. That's the travel. That's the travel tag, right? The travel tag acts like a progress tag. Hub 01. See, my fear about this though is that here's a door that's not opening for any obvious reason, right? So like polish wise, I need to have something that connects a home point with the door. Because I don't necessarily, like it kind of breaks the game a little bit if the player decides to just run through and never actually use the bonfire. There's a whole bunch of recommendations of stuff I should be playing. I'm gonna have to check out. You. Oh, Akuplock? It's called Akuplock? Alright. I think that addresses the main things that I was worried about. I'm gonna package this up and then I'm gonna end the stream and I will. I mean I could try to put this up. Nah, it's gonna be like uploading. It's gonna fuck with the stream anyway when I start uploading stuff. But I'll do a Steemit post like as soon as possible, as soon as I get this together. Uh it'll happen like right away. And I could do a quick video also cuz there's some stuff that like I want to do response for people's feedback on YouTube, I think. But yeah, I'll get a Steemit post up like it'll all happen like within an hour, I think. I just gotta upload this, I gotta back everything up, make sure that everything's in place. And then I'll do another stream around the same time tomorrow to kind of go over the sounds and stuff that I'm gonna be doing, unless I release another video or something. Yeah, like maybe the door could have some kind of like a maybe a light, or I know in a lot of games, like I remember a lot of times in the past, like going way back when I worked on Elite Force 2, um there was this thing where Activision was like constantly like saying like if you have a door and it can't be opened, you're going to frustrate the player. Like they kept saying that, and it kind of like scarred me for life. I always think of doors that can't be opened as being like a bad thing because it like frustrates the player. I don't know why they pushed that so hard, but they really were against that. And I guess Valve wasn't really too keen on that idea either. So like what I'm doing is kind of like a sin on in both Valve's and Activision's minds. So yeah, I probably do need to have something that connects this with that. So like it looks like a locked door. Maybe if it just had like some kind of a graphic on it that yeah, it made it look locked. I'll have to look at that. I'll have to do that. Yeah, I mean it's just a specific one-time thing maybe. Maybe it's only for the first area because they do the same thing in Dark Souls. Fire you can't go past into the next area without doing Firelink Shrine. I think they even go as far as like you can't access the next level without literally going through the fast travel network. Like they make one of the or the bonfire. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Did I already recompile this? I did, didn't I? I'm starting to like lose my mind. All right, guys, I'm gonna end the stream. Totally fucking awesome. Like, you guys came on and chatted me up, and really appreciate the feedback and everything like that. I'll be thinking about things a little bit more. I'll have another stream tomorrow, and maybe I'll do another update. And I'm gonna have a playable version of this. It doesn't have sound, it's lacking effects, and it doesn't have monster graphics. But you can like fuck around with it right now. All right. So thanks for joining. Everything. I'll see you guys around. All right. Peace out.